Good afternoon and welcome to another edition of Community Issues. I'm your host, Omar Rashada. Joining me in the Comcast Studios, Channel 190, I have Miss Alicia Brooks. Good morning.
Good morning.
All right, top media agency. You're a business marketing person.
Yes, I am.
You help businesses. You help business owners do promoting and marketing and all that good stuff. So just talk about how you first got involved with doing this.
Well, when I first got involved, I did it for my own business. I have my own retail website where, I was primarily the person who did everything in the business, as far as finding the products, creating the website, making sure that my products were quality products, and then I had to figure out how to market it. And, I had to learn the skill in order to do it so it would be beneficial, so I would be able to make some profit in the process.
Right. So when a person first thinks about doing a business and they're thinking about marketing, what's the first thing that he or she should do?
Well, what I find is a lot of business owners forget about the marketing part. They're more, they have a skill, whether it be an electrician, whether it's, being a talk show host or a baker. They're more focused on doing their skill than marketing. So, once they create their business or, they step out on that path, now they have to come back and say, well, how am I going to get customers? And then they have to learn how to market, or they either, hire someone or they, get an employee. And that way, the person is able to gain, the traffic that they're looking for.
Right. You look at today's time versus maybe the times back a while back ago. Some people, when they had businesses, they used to advertise in the newspapers. They used to advertise on the radio, what have you, and they may even have flyers. But today it's a little different because you're talking about now social media.
Yeah, social media is a great place to advertise your business because that's where mainly people are hanging out at. People are there to, see what's in the news feed. They go to the video part to watch live videos, or they're just looking for things online. And if you're a type of person who, likes certain things, going on social media to promote your business helps gain interest because we're able to target people specifically who like certain things, and that's the benefit of advertising on social media.
But I think also, I think when we look at marketing and advertising, I think we have to look at the age of the consumer in general, because let's say you get someone in their 60s or their 70s and their 80s, they may not be on Facebook, they may not be on YouTube. For them, the best form of advertising might just be just a regular flyer, and not so much a postcard flyer, but just a regular flyer. So, what do you think in terms of being more diverse in terms of the marketing strategy that a business owner uses?
Well, it's always good for a business owner to market in multiple places and in multiple ways. Don't think that just because the internet is here that word of mouth doesn't work. Right. Or flyers don't work, or business cards don't work, because they do. And it's important to continue to do all of that in conjunction with advertising online. We never know who's looking for what, so be in multiple places at once.
Top choice agency that you represent, that's yours. Okay, I'll come in your office, or I'll meet you wherever you want to meet. Walk me through the steps of the process of what you do once a business owner comes knocking on your door and say, hey, Alicia, I need your help.
Well, what I do generally is I like to call it a deep dive. Okay. And what I'll do is I'll review your website, I'll review your social media presence, if you have one, if you have those things, and I'll give you my overview of your business, and I'll tell you where it will be best to begin with marketing online. Sometimes people don't have a website. Some people don't even have a social media presence.
Right.
So in that, I'll start there to check it out and see if it has all the appropriate things that a customer or a client might be looking for. Sometimes people aren't aware that there's a lot of stuff that they're missing, and I'll look and I'll take a deep dive to see how I can jump in there and help you out. And usually that's a free consultation.
Oh, really? That's great. If people got to take advantage of that because usually that could be what, $100, $200 or so. Or something.
Yeah, it can be. Yes.
Now, if someone doesn't have a website, does your agency assist in helping people develop a website?
Yes, I build websites, and I also work with a visual designer. Helps me build out my websites, and just to get it up and running. And it is very important to have this website because not everybody has a brick and mortar business or a traditional building where people will go to see what you have to offer. And people who exist in that realm use the internet and websites to create a business storefront, so to say.
Let's stay on website for a moment. Let's say someone has a website. Let's say two different people have a website. One website is good, one website needs some help. So to describe the website that needs the help, what is it that he or she doesn't have on a website? And a website that's doing good, what is it that he or she does have?
Well, it's reactive. Certain websites are reactive and they're informational, and they're not clunky like you see an old car and you know it's an old car because the way it looks. It doesn't have the functionality, it doesn't look polished and clean. And those websites who are like that generally aren't trusted. They look at them and they say, oh, it looks shabby, or it doesn't look like a real website, or it could be looked at as a scammer. So it's very important to create a credible and trustworthy website.
All right. Let's talk about your educational background, because you're very intelligent. I'm not sure if you have a degree in business or a degree in marketing. So for those who are watching, you said they're looking at this young lady who was very intelligent. Talk about your educational background.
Well, I have an associate's degree in information technology, concentration in database management and website design. Right. So that's that's where I built my my foundation for as a love for computers, because that's where I started at. I had a love for computers, and a general understanding of how to use them to my advantage. Right.
Now, the people that come to you, the people that you work with, the business owners, are they entrepreneurs, or do they run nonprofits, or are they LLCs, or you get a multitude of all of them?
Yeah, I get a multitude of many different types of business owners, electricians, health and wellness, claim insurance adjusters. The opportunity is wide open. Right. So whatever you have to offer, or whatever business you have, it can ultimately be marketed on the internet.
Right. On a negative standpoint, there are some businesses that open and they might last no more than 2 or 3 years, 4 or 5 years. They take a loss every year. What are some of the most common mistakes that you see businesses do?
Some common mistakes I believe business owners do is they don't stay consistent with their promoting. Okay. And you have to be consistent with your business, because not anything that doesn't stay consistent falls off. If you're on a diet, if you're not consistent in your diet, you're obviously not going to achieve that goal. So stay consistent, continue to talk about it, continue to advertise it, and it will help in the long run. And there's multiple ways you can do that. Right.
Now, you've been a business owner. Do you have multiple businesses, or you just have to list the one agency?
I do have multiple businesses. I do. And the reason why I have multiple businesses is because it's hard out. It's hard. Right. Because even in a single family household, you only have one income coming in. Right. And through the internet, you're able to have multiple streams of income coming in, which will help your financial position. Right. And the name of the game really is multiple streams of income. Who wouldn't like 4, 5, 6 numerous streams of income coming into their home? Right. And the internet allows you the possibility to do that. Right.
You're an entrepreneur. Some people are afraid to take that step. They feel more comfortable or safe in working for someone else, or working for a regular business. So what made you decide to say, I'm going to take that risk, or I'm going to fulfill my dream of being an entrepreneur?
Well, I've always kind of been this way. I've always been the person who's looking for opportunities, want to learn about different things, and, felt like I'm no different than anybody else. I'm no different than a person, you know, my boss or my supervisor, what makes them so much better than me? And I always felt like, you know, they're always coming to me. So, well, you know, why couldn't I be in their position
Right.
to make decisions?
Right.
So, you know, I always felt like, you know, they're no different than I am. So there's no reason why I shouldn't be able to get out and, you know, do it for myself.
Have you ever done in the past, or are you thinking about doing in the future, doing workshops on marketing?
I have actually thought about that.
Okay.
It's still a thought, simply because I know a lot goes into it, a lot of planning goes into it, and a lot of marketing goes into it.
Right.
So going forward, you know, possibly, I'll be able to make that discernment coming up in the future.
And then one of the challenges of marketing your product or production, because, you know, I'm a playwright sometimes, you know, doing plays, I have to market, you know, my plays. So those of us out there who are marketing our production as well, let's say you have limited finances. They say, Alicia, I just don't have enough money. I can't market this thing the way I want to do it. What was your words of advice?
Well, one thing I would do is examine my budget and and understand exactly how far it can go. On the internet or on Facebook, for example, you can have a $5 a day brand awareness campaign, which will help to expose your business and get more eyeballs to what you have going on.
Right.
And $5 a day is very doable for most people in business. So that's somewhere you can start, and then scale up depending on how beneficial it is.
Okay, we got 2 minutes remaining in this segment, so I'm going to let you close out with any words of encouragement for people who are thinking about starting a business, and how can people contact you, if they want you to help them with their marketing strategies.
If you're in business or if you're looking to get into business, I would say take the first step. Do your research, find out what's available, find out what it is that you like to do. A lot of people have skills that they already do today, but they may be doing it for an employer. And that skill can actually be utilized for your own benefit inside of your own business. It just takes a little courage and, you know, commitment to go out on your own path. And if you're looking for media services, reach out to me. I have a media agency. It's called Top Choice Media Agency. I could be reached at 302-897-6443. Please text to give me a heads up that you're contacting me, so I know who you are, and just send me a message. I'll be happy to talk to you.
All right, on that note, thank you for coming on, and the door is always open in case you got something new coming up, another workshops, let me know.
I sure will. Thank you.
You're watching Community Issues on Comcast Channel 190. I'm going to take a short break, and I'll return with my next guest. Thank you. Welcome back. I'm your host, Omar Rashada, Community Issues. Now joining me in the Comcast Studios, Channel 190, I have Denise Rodriquez and Glenda Cameron. Good morning, ladies.
Good morning.
Good morning.
All right, we're here to talk about human trafficking in the Peer Recovery Center. But first, let's give an update. I had you on maybe about a year ago, talking about the Peer Recovery Center, which is located at Horizon House of Delaware. Just give me information. What is the Peer Recovery Center, and what are some of the services that are offered?
So basically it's a drop-in center, and we focus on individuals with mental health, addiction, and homelessness. The drop-in center is open 7 days a week, and it provides services for individuals to come in. They may just need a shower. We have a clothing bank if they need clothes. We also run 2 groups a day, such as recovery groups and groups for, in regards to like life skills, that kind of thing. But we also connect people with services, outside services if they're in crisis, if they need to go to Meadowood, Rockford Center, if they're trying to get clean and they want to go to Kirkwood Detox, we help people get connected to those kinds of services. But we have a lot of new groups that are starting soon.
Okay, and you do some artwork there. You got some talented individuals there. I see all some of the pictures there.
Well, yeah, I have really talented clients, but the exciting thing is that we also collaborate with other outside entities. Right now, I'm collaborating with the Journey Church, which I'm also a member there.
Okay.
And we're starting what we call J groups. The Journey Church has J groups that go all around Delaware, different groups like walking groups, reading groups, bowling groups. Well, I'm starting a J group at the center, and it's called SWAG, which stands for Saved with Art Group.
Okay,
And
great.
so individuals from the church will collaborate with individuals from my center, and we're going to come together to work on mental health recovery and addiction, and we're going to do it through art. And I'm really excited about that.
All right, that's great. That's great. Now, where are you located?
So we're located at 1902A Maryland Avenue. It's the building's been there, but my program was added onto. It's a brand new building, and like I said, I'm really excited that that's going to be taking place soon.
And they should be looking for Horizon House, right?
And yes, it says Horizon House really big. If anybody wants to get in touch with me to find out more information, I can give my number.
Yeah, sure.
It says 302-778-9590. And you know, we're doing like a lot of exciting things to get more connected with the community.
Right.
And one of the other things that we'll be working on with the clients and with Journey Church is a walk. And it's for in reference to human trafficking, which we're going to talk about in a little bit. But I'm excited about all the new things that are coming up at the drop-in center.
All right, Ms. Glenda, what is human trafficking since we're there? Denise, introduce us right
Great
to
question.
it.
Yeah, human trafficking is modern day slavery.
Wow.
Yeah, and you know, today in the 21st century, there are millions enslaved around the world, more now than ever before in human history.
Okay, so I mean, what does it consist of? Does it consist of having people work for less money? That doesn't involve sex trafficking?
Trafficking can look like sex trafficking.
Okay.
It can be forced labor, bonded labor. It can be servitude, domestic servitude that is involuntary, forced domestic servitude, and even they sell children into being soldiers.
Wow. Well, now the traffickers, they're looking for their victims. What is the profile, the type of victims are they exactly looking for? Because, you know, when you talk about victim, you're looking at people they can take advantage of. So, I mean, they could be anywhere in the community, but basically, just give me a profile of what a trafficker is looking specifically at, like Denise or Glenda.
Well, they don't discriminate. I mean, really, a victim could be anybody, man, woman, child. They look for, a lot of times, individuals who are not familiar. They may be new into our country, that are looking for work, and they may mislead them into thinking that they're going to get a job, but instead they're forced into prostitution or slavery. People with limited resources or lack of support services. But again, it really doesn't discriminate.
No, you're exactly right. They are forced. They're tricked, and they're coerced into being bought and sold. And Denise is right. It transcends race, gender, age, men, women, children, all being bought and sold against their will.
And the misconception is that people think that this happens only in third world countries, that it doesn't happen here, but this is happening in your neighborhood. And that's why we're trying to bring this awareness to everybody.
You know, I was on YouTube, and I saw some stories that were shared on TED Talk. And one of the victims said, you know, because she was forced into prostitution, she was arrested. You know, it wasn't her fault. It's just she was threatened. Somebody said, well, if you don't do what I tell you to do, then I'm going to take care of your family. I'm going to get your family. You know? So, yeah, this is really tough. You know, for them, you know, having a criminal record based on the trafficking, that's unfortunate.
Yeah.
And that is the sad reality, because they will use fear, but most of all, to get their victims.
Now, we just talked about mental illness. So I would imagine once a person escapes human trafficking, you know, PSTD, post-traumatic stress disorder, trauma, they're going to need some type of counseling services. So are there any services, I mean, here locally for those who suffer from the trafficking?
Do you want to answer that?
You know, locally, I'll let you answer.
Okay, so any agency that deals with mental health, I always tell people, even Horizon House helps people that, you know, deal with post-traumatic stress disorder. And it's just a matter of you connecting with your provider to let them know, you know, what has happened, what you need, and they can help you get connected. But again, there's multiple agencies out here. You just have to get connected through your, whether it's your insurance. Horizon House deals with trauma victims all the time.
Right.
In our J group, the part of, she was talking about the Journey Church and the J groups, and the J group that I'm a part of, we are together proud supporters and volunteers for an organization called A21.
Okay.
And A21 is a global nonprofit organization, and that's one of the components to their strategy, is being able to empower survivors through individualized support,
Right.
through aftercare, and through community engagement.
Right. So we got a walk coming up in October. So who wants to talk about it?
I'll talk about it. Yes, this is very exciting to me because it's a way that absolutely everyone can play a part in being a solution
Right.
to abolish slavery everywhere forever. And the walk is on October the 19th, and we are hosting this walk along with more than 450 other cities around the world, right? There are more than 50 countries, more than 450 cities. It's October the 19th, right in Newark, Delaware, starting at 10 a.m. at the George Wilson Community Center. So we're very excited, again, with every person, with every step, we're bringing awareness to this injustice.
Do you have the address to that community center?
I don't have the address, but it is the George Wilson, right near the Newark campus, the University of Delaware campus.
Yeah,
Okay.
off of Main Street. The exciting thing is it's the first time that it's coming to Delaware,
Right.
and I'm really excited that I was asked to be a part of this. So this is an opportunity for individuals to actually come out and be a voice, and I'll be able to, if anybody needs the information, you can go to the website. We'll have that on the screen a little bit later. If you want to register to be a part of the walk, you can do that. I'm imploring, my friends, family, co-workers to also donate to the cause because this helps the victims to restore their lives.
As I was watching the documentary on the individuals who were speaking to me and being victims, one of the thought process that came to me is, what is law enforcement doing? What are they doing in trying to stop this? Do you see law enforcement taking initiative to stop this, or you think they need to do more?
Law enforcement is very aware of it. It really
Okay.
is very dependent on the city, but
Okay,
law
gotcha.
enforcement is very aware of it and they play active parts. There are a number of law enforcement people who go undercover in order to
Okay.
try to, and that's part of the rescue component.
Right,
And
right.
that is just assisting victims to be able to identify who they are, collaborate, and 821 also helps to provide that legal representation for victims. So they are in partnership with the legal, or rather with the law
And there's a lot of work that goes on that we just don't hear about it, because a lot of these
Okay, gotcha.
investigations takes weeks, months, years, because they have to make sure when they're going in that they're also considering the safety of these victims to make sure that they can extract them from that situation without getting them harmed.
Right.
But there are several task force everywhere that are doing this, all the time. So this is what they do. They rescue these victims.
With the walk, do people have to register? Is it a free event, or do they have to go online and pay? Or
It's a free event. You go to 821.org to register. It doesn't cost you anything to register. If you want to walk in Newark, it's 821.org/Newark. And again, if you're not in and around Newark on October the 19th, there are more than 450 cities where you can walk. So
okay, earlier at the start of the program, Denise shared her background in terms of being a peer specialist at Horizon House in Delaware. What is your background?
well, my background is I actually work for Dell Technologies, so I
Okay.
have no
wow, okay.
no association other than the Journey Church. So that's how we know each other, through the Journey Church and the
Gotcha.
J Group. So I'm just an avid. What we share with A21 is just
Okay.
this hope that we can achieve the mission to abolish slavery everywhere forever.
Right. So in addition to the walk, is there going to be guest speakers? What else is going to happen that day?
I don't think there's going to be. It's a single file walk,
Okay.
and the idea behind the walk itself is really one of the other components, and that is reaching, which is reducing the vulnerability for through proactive awareness and education, and that's what that is just really getting out there and preventing people like you and us, anyone who's listening or hearing, from ever becoming a victim.
Right.
And so it's a single file walk. Here's the t-shirt. It's a single file walk where it's one person at a time, one step at a time, doing something to bring awareness to the situation and be a part of a solution to abolish slavery.
Right, definitely. Denise, so the Peer Recovery Center, what are the hours of operations? I guess you're pretty much open 7 days a week, right?
Yes. So we're open from 11 to 7, Monday through Friday, and then on the weekends we're open 10 to 6.
Okay, now are you accepting the donations or anything of that nature?
We're always accepting donations because as a nonprofit, we do have limited resources, and one of the things is that we don't have a fund to feed our clients. Somehow, some way, since I've been open back in January, we always find something for them to eat when they're there.
Right.
But we kind of have to depend on donations, and a lot of times it comes out of staff pocket. So
Right.
we make sure that they eat. So food donations, we're always looking for toiletries because they take showers there, and we like to make sure that they're, you know, fresh and clean and feeling good about themselves. So yeah, we're always looking for donations.
Political season is pretty much here. Next year is the election. With the move of human trafficking, are you reaching out to politicians to invite them to come to this walk, or are you addressing this particular issue to him or her in the district that they represent and say, hey, we want you guys to get involved with this as well?
This is not a one-person issue. This is a community issue, and I do implore politicians to be more involved,
Right.
so that they can come out and be aware, and that they can also perhaps use that on their platform, because this is a very you know, ongoing problem, and it's detrimental, and I think that it would be important for our politicians to come out and be a part of.
Okay, I guess we have a couple minutes remaining. I want to give closing comments for both of you to talk about the significance of why people should come out that day, and any other words of encouragement do you have for those who are watching right now? We can start off with Ms. Glenda.
Sure. Well, as I mentioned, there are millions of people enslaved around the world, more now today than ever before, and a staggering statistic is less than 1% of victims are ever rescued, and that means 99% of those victims, they live with slavery every single day. And because sadly this is the fastest growing criminal industry in the world, and it's generating $150 billion every year. And so it's really important to get awareness out there that this is happening, and that we all can have a part of making a difference in, again, achieving that mission of abolishing slavery everywhere forever.
Well, I just ask the community to, again, go on the website that we talked about, to perhaps register, participate, attend the walk, and be a voice, because this is an ongoing problem that we are faced with, and it doesn't discriminate man, woman, child. You know, anybody can be a victim. And I just think it's important that we all kind of stand together, come together, and walk as one. And that's what we're having this walk for.
Okay. All right, ladies, on that note, I'd like to thank you both for being guests.
Thank you for having us.
And definitely keep me updated.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And thank you for tuning in to another edition of Community Issues. Until next time, have a safe week. Peace.